Hi, this is Sylvia, and I'd like to share a story with you today called The Master's Garden. A gardener carefully planted seeds into the soil of tiny little pots. He took good care of them, watering them, protecting them from the elements, and making sure they had enough light. Eventually, when they were strong enough, he would transplant them with the help of the master gardener. One day, the gardener noticed that a plant that looked different from all of the others. He admired it. He gave it a little extra attention, and soon it became his favorite. So much so that when the master came to transplant all the seedlings, he hid this particular plant and kept it for himself. He put it into its own little clay pot, and he guarded it carefully. He brought it out for a little sunshine, and he watered it with a few drops of water so that it wouldn't die, but it wouldn't grow too fast either. Eventually, this little plant was becoming too big for the little clay pot, but the gardener did not want to give it up. So he clipped her little branches and tied some of them down with wire. She kept growing, and he continued to clip the leaves and adjust the branches. The stem became strong and rough like the trunk of a tree. This little plant had become a beautiful little prize that the gardener was very proud of. She was small but sturdy. As long as he kept her leaves clipped and her branches tied down, she could remain in the container. He kept her close by, only moving her where he wanted to, while keeping her hidden from the master gardener. Now, after a long while, the gardener noticed that her leaves began to turn brown. No matter how much water she had or sunshine, she wasn't growing any longer. She was dying. The gardener was distraught. What could he do to save his favorite plant? When the master gardener came to see him, he noticed his apprentice was low and asked, "Is there anything wrong?" The gardener sheepishly responded, "I've been caring for a plant on my own, but now she's dying. What shall I do?" He held the plant up to his master. The master smiled and gently took the small, deformed plant. I see that you've done your best to groom this plant by clipping and tying down her branches. She yielded to your control as much as she could, for a young plant depends on its gardener for sustenance. But you did not realize that every plant needs the freedom to grow beyond the walls of its container, so that it can reach its full potential. She must be transplanted into my garden, where she will flourish." The gardener hung his head in shame, for he knew his master was right. He watched the master break the clay pot, shards of terracotta falling away, exposing the matted up roots and dark soil. Then he gently planted her next to some healthy, strong plants in the garden, and he showered her with fresh, living water. She soaked it all in, reaching her branches to the heavens with gratitude. She was free to grow, to become the tall, fruit-bearing tree that she was intended to be. Thank you for listening.